Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review, we're going to be looking at the Transformers Age of the Primes Wreck and Doom collection, Fisitron. This video is going to concentrate just on him. I am of course going to do a dual review, and I'm going to do Carnivac separately as well. Main reason is because I think that these figures deserve that. So in this video, we're going to have a look at him compared to his original Generation 1 self, the original owner of the mould, some other uses of the mould, and indeed some other current figures and indeed older figures as well, just to give you an idea of size and scale. So as I start to move all of these out of the way, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, to hit that subscribe button for me now please, because it really will help me out, and also to thank in-demand toy stores in the UK, which is where I got this from. So let's start off with looking at the packaging, and I think, yeah, definitely since the War for Cybertron trilogy started, the packaging, the artwork's just been sensational. And I think it was the 2 packs from Kingdom. Oh no, they did some in Siege as well, of course they did, with the Skywalk pack. I just think the artwork is stunning. These of course, as we've already seen, are previously used molds. This of course was Hound, and this was of course from way back in the Prime Wars trilogy, but we'll concentrate more on him in the other video. So there they are. Let's get this opened, ready to have a quick look at him. Let me just take the seal down. Right, there we go. And brilliant, they're in robot mode. That's a great way. That's easy for me to start. Let's slide him out nice and carefully. Oh, they are. Oh, wow, I've never seen, not on deluxe figures and not on mainline figures. I've seen sort of protecting like this on some masterpiece and third-party figures, but never on them. There we go. So there he is inside the packaging. There's going to be his accessories. The instructions are there. I'm going to set him free and I'm going to come straight back to you. Okay, so he's set free from the packaging, and it's time for some first impressions. And I've got to again confess, I was completely stunned by the extra plastic protection around here. It was, in honesty, it was quite difficult to get off. You do have to physically, I suppose, cut it off with some scissors, because if you start to pull it, you might damage the figure. So just be aware of that when you're going to be, I suppose, unboxing your own copy. Right, let's have a look at him then. As I say, we're pretty used to this mold. Let's be honest, it is the Hound mold, but I'm really liking this silver. Some of it looks like a reflective silver, you know, not to the extent of chrome, but it definitely doesn't look like your normal sort of like that sort of silver, you know. Your gunmetal grey, look, this has definitely got a bit of a sheen to it, which I think is really, really nice. The head sculpt is completely different. I love the fact that, of course, you can still maneuver it backwards, forwards, up and down, side to side, etc. This doesn't get in the way. Arms will give you the full T. You'll be able to go all the way around unrestricted. You've got your shoulder swivel, your bicep flexion, wrist is still swiveling, waist is still completely unrestricted, even with the backpack there as well. There's not an ab crunch, there never really is, but you can make him bend due to how the legs move, with the legs coming all the way up just past the point of splits that way. And indeed, by the looks of it, you're going to be able to go just past the point of the splits that way. Yes, you can. Never going to need to do more than that, let's be honest. Swivel at the top of the thigh. No further down. It looks like that does, but I don't think it is. No, it's just where it's fitting in. Big knee bend, ankle tilt, rock, etc. And again, what I think is quite important, an abundance of 5mm ports all over him. And the reason for that is because that's what makes these figures, or that's what makes the Siege figures, shall we say, so much fun. I'm going to do things slightly differently. I'm going to stay with the robot mode, then we're going to go to alternate after. I really like this as well. This to me is brilliant, even though it's not exactly the same as the gimmick that we had in the original ones. I'm going to show you the original in a second. This is going to fit into there, I believe so. I think I've just literally had to check the instructions because I don't normally, but because I haven't seen this figure before, I wanted it. It's still my first impressions, but I wanted to make sure I was doing things correct. Look at that. That's a beautiful homage to that. Of course, it hasn't still got the pom-pom effect, and it unfortunately doesn't have the light piping effect that I don't think you can see anyway. But it's a homage to this, and it is, I'm really surprised actually. I've not even seen this fully built. I don't know how. In all the images that I've seen, I've not seen this fully built. So I'm very, very impressed with that, because it's exactly like the original, but it's just a bit smaller. So we're with the original. Let's bring this guy in. So what you would do is you'd fold this stand down like so, and then this is where the hands, this is where you see the real lack of articulation on some of the earlier, in fact not, let's be honest, on some very early figures there isn't many at all. But if I can just get this into his hands, you will see that that is what They are replicating, but they're replicating it slightly easier. You don't need all of that. I think the only thing they're missing would have been like piping for the eyes, but that is brilliant. And of course, let's be honest, the benefit of the newer updated weapon, I'm just going to keep this there, means that you can break it down and it can be used for other things, whereas that is just one giant weapon. I don't know what to call it. It's just like it's like a tower blaster or whatever, isn't it? There we go. We've got them there side by side. Yeah, great little homage it is. I'm really liking this one. Let's move this out of the way then. So other things I imagine that we can do, I'll have a look at the instructions again in a second. So we've got a blaster. Surely this could now be a shield. I'm sure it could be. It'd be a bit of a small one, but you could still use it as a shield. And then I'm imagining that could be a bit of a backpack, or indeed something to come on the top, even more of a shield, I would imagine. Let me have a quick look. So that's that. I'm thinking it's going to be blast effect compatible. If Mark Mahers has anything to do with it, it definitely will be. Yep, there you go. So there it is. That looks great. While that's standing there, let's have a quick look at the instructions and just to see if that's Carnivacs on the one side. Here's the other. So there's the 3. Nope, you can just put that on the back, put that on the top, and yeah, pretty much how we've got it, to be honest. You can put all 3 on. It also says, of course, that you can, yeah, of course you can. Looking at this, you can take this, you can then store this whichever way it goes around. You can store this on the side. You can of course put that roof bit on the back as well. I'm really liking this. It's fun, it's a toy, it's fun, it should be fun, and because there's lots of possibilities and lots of things that you can do with it, that is why I'm enjoying it even more. And that's why I like to go off the cuff with these reviews, just exactly that. Open the box up and have a bit of fun with the figure. Right, there he is with some other uses of the same mold. Let me see what I've got here. Funnily enough, I've got a ramjet here, which of course he's a bit smaller. He's going to be a load smaller than him, and rightly so. He's going to be bigger than him though, which is interesting. And then a few other figures that I've just got lying around here. So yeah, he's a good size deluxe, which we of course know that the Hound mold is. It's exactly that. It is a good size deluxe. This one though, as I say, to be honest, I don't know if it's because I really like the G1 original. I don't know. I'm thinking this could perhaps be my favorite use of this particular mold. I think because of the weapon and because of how they've done such a great job of the homage. I think, in honesty, do you know what? I'm going to see. Let me see something. Oh, damn. I thought that was going to go in then. I really thought that was going to fit in, but it didn't. Okay, that would have been even cooler if it would have, but there you go, it doesn't. There's not much more to say about this guy in his robot mode. As you can tell, I'm a big fan. Let's get him into his alternate mode. So we're back for the final time with him in his alternate mode. Quick apologies, no transformation process on this video. That's because I intend to keep the main length of the video down, and you've probably already noticed I've uploaded the tutorial. So if you want to see it and use it, you can. And if you don't want to see it, because some people don't like to see the transformation process, they do like to have a go at it themselves first. I genuinely have people messaging me about that. So there you go, it's not spoiled for you if you don't want to. So alternate mode serves its purpose, rolls backwards and forwards really well. I just kind of wish that these did fold down, or maybe even tucked inside just to fit there. That's just my sort of only tiny little gripe. I just think they look, in this particular instance, maybe it's because they're bright blue, too much of a striking colour. Maybe they just stand out that little bit too much for me. But again, I don't want it to take anything away from the figure, because I do think it's a great use. And indeed, I think it's better than this, to be honest. I do think it's better. In fact, I'm looking at this now and I'm going to not correct myself. I'm going to change my opinion. In the alternate mode, I prefer the Jeep. I think because it does look more like a Jeep. In the robot mode, I'm preferring this guy in the robot because of the colour scheme. But I think hopefully you get exactly what I mean. It doesn't look too bad with this. It doesn't look too, like, not garish, you know. It doesn't look like it's getting in the way as much as, whereas with this one, I really think it does. It would have been okay if you could perhaps fold them down this way, and then it would look like, you know, it was a step that you were getting off, or like a little platform to climb up onto like a huge armored vehicle, which I suppose exactly it is. But on the other hand, look, it's very similar to the G1 again. It's very similar indeed. You've got the same, yeah, I suppose, shape and aesthetics to it. So again, very clever with how they've managed to do all that. In honesty, once again, we can take the original G1 giant accessory, and of course we can take this. I can build it back up like so. Pop this all underneath. This really is quite straightforward. I'm just wondering if I can make it a little bigger. And again, you've got a smaller version of the G1 original. Love it, absolutely love it. And they've even gone with that there. So if you're wondering what that was one of the scopes, the set which we no, on this one you can't, but it was aimed with some of the other figures that you could lift up and they could look through it as a scope. Or maybe you can, but with this one, yes you can. I'm too nervous to do it. In fact, it's not even about this figure. Yeah, that would fold up and it would be a scope. So the fact that they've even got that on is a brilliant little homage for me, to be honest. I love the fact that they've done that. That's just so it's just the attention to detail, isn't it? Let's be honest. And I think it's just really worked. So in regards to them, that's how he looks. However, of course, this was a deluxe at the time. Now, of course, Ironhide is nowhere near a deluxe, and that's probably one of the main reasons why. You can see just how much bigger he is than that. There's another deluxe which we've got there. Here's, I suppose, one of the most famous Voyagers at the moment. You can see how he fares against that. But again, like your little GP sort of figures, GP styles, easily as big, if not slightly bigger. And then, funnily enough, just because he's here, obviously nowhere near as big as that guy. Right. And again, of course, with this, you'll be able to put some of the blast effects on this. Because you've got the 5mm ports everywhere, you'll be able to take weapons and accessories from other figures. So you could even pop something. Let's turn this around that way. You could pop something in the side. Again, you can just keep having so much fun with all these, and that's exactly what I like, to be honest. So there you go, bit of a winner, to be honest, but I always knew that I would like this. So hopefully I've not shown too much bias into it, because I do genuinely like the original figure. As I said, robot mode for me though is my favorite version, or favorite use of the mold. But there we go, that was a quick look at Fisitron. Carnivac is coming up very soon, then I'll do a joint one, and as I say, then I'll bring in the others as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.